all right. I have to chime in on the end of Canto 27 because I think what happened was is I stopped as he said, "Oh, you know, hey ladies, it's not like, it's not all the women who are terrible." Um and indeed, yes, he said it's like, because he had said, "For well I know, for every two or three who prove unkind, 100 women true and good you'll find." And I say, oh yeah, he's doing his usual thing. But the poet or the narrator of the poem goes on to say, although of all the women I have loved, not one was faithful, yet I do not say on this account that all are faithless proved. The blame upon my cruel fate I lay, which I paused, made me pause because it's the blame upon my cruel fate I lay. I think it's like I blame myself. Many there are who cannot be reproved, and no rebuke deserve in any way. But if among 100 one there be who is unkind, her prey I'm sure to be. So I attract faithless women. So that's why I think that's why my experience of women is all faithless women. And yet I hope to find before I die, or ere my graying hair grows whiter still, one who is true, on whom I can rely, to keep all promises, all vows fulfill. And if this ever comes to pass, I'm going to extol to her heights sublime, and praise entirely in prose and rhyme. So he's like, oh, okay, I've been unlucky with the ladies, so it's probably just all my fault. And then we get a story of Rodomonte, who is indeed he hopes bad things for the monarch, for Agramonte for cursing him, but he kind of has this weird kind of revenge fantasy where Agramonte gets deposed, but he has to come along and save him and restore him, and to show what a loyal friend he slurred when he let Mandicardo be preferred. Um, so he's even that, but he goes and stays at a inn, and this is we're still in France because she's gonna ship himself off to Africa, and he starts asking the guys there, like, do you have are you all married? And they're all like, yeah, we're all married. Are all your wives faithful? And all the men except for the innkeeper say, oh, we have faithful wives. At which the innkeeper says, like, oh, come on, buddies, we all know that faithful women are super rare. So it's funny how whenever you talk to a husband, it's their woman is the freak, is the one that is actually faithful. When so that obviously shows that they've just they've snowed their wives and they're being super unfaithful without them. Um, and he talks about meeting a gentleman from Venice chanced to make a journey hither, and after one or two of his ripe stories, I was wide awake, and ever after the truth I knew, about the truth about women folk is what he knew, and he had what would so he says, like, oh, he had told all these tons of stories. I only remember like a third of them, but here is the best story, and would please be. And he says, like, I can tell it to you. I'll tell it as plainly as I can. And it's like, what would the pagan answers? What can please me more at present than to hear an anecdote which will confirm the view I held before and chime with my opinion note for note. And so it's like, okay, I'm looking for stories about how terrible women are, and this gentleman from Venice apparently has told you a story about it, so you're going to tell it to me, and that's how the story which he told to Rodomont in my next canto I will now recount. Rodomont, recount. Rodom, Rodomont, recount. Rodomont. I don't know. I'm trying to get the rhyme in there. These stanzas all end on a rhyme. So that's the end of Canto 27, where we definitely got again this kind of back and forth about women, this back and forth thing about, can you trust in love? Or Orlando has been, from what his point of view, has been betrayed in love, but might also just say, again, we have this thing of women getting to choose and men not liking how women choose. This is I love that we get this yet again. Rodomont is pissed because Doralice has chosen someone else other than him, and he is soured now on women. He thinks all women are terrible, whereas Orlando just went literally insane when he found out that that Angelica had chosen someone else. So it's an interesting thing. So and now we're getting a narrator who thinks that all the women that he's been with, have been faithless, and now we're going to get a gentleman from Verona talking about how, I assume, how women are faithless. So we'll find out what the story is in the next canto. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.